Hello again everybody, this is Gusto. Recently Drew78 from MREinfo.com sent me a variety of items, including today's ration, which is the Food Packet Long Range Patrol Menu Number 1 Beef Hash. As many of you know, the Long Range Patrol rations are among my favorite types of rations. I really enjoy the freeze-dried items. And this one's from a time period that I haven't tried before. I've sampled the late 70s rations, as well as the 90s and modern Long Range Patrol rations, but this one is from the early 80s. And if you've seen my previous Long Range Patrol ration videos, you would probably see packaging like this, which is late 70s, or this, which was 98, or this one, which is the modern type of packaging. This packaging is a little bit different because it's similar in size to the late 70s ration, but it's printed sideways and has a different packaging source, which is Dixie packaging. I haven't tried one from this style packaging or from this time period, which is supposedly the early 80s. And a little bit of background information on the Long Range Patrol ration. It was developed in the late 60s during the Vietnam War for use by long range reconnaissance patrol teams who needed a lighter and smaller ration that was easier to carry for an extended period of time. These typically contain a freeze-dried main item, and they do require a significant amount of water to reconstitute. Again, the main benefit to this type of ration was that they're much lighter and smaller than the MCI rations that were typically packaged in cans and were quite heavy. The original Long Range Patrol rations contained a single food item and some toilet paper and sometimes a piece of chocolate. Over time, they've become more comprehensive meals with some side items and more drink mixes, but this one I'm not sure of the contents, so let's go ahead and open it up and figure out what's inside. Here we go. And this comes with an accessory pack similar to the 1980s MREs. And there is the food item. Also has a toilet paper, and this is the blue toilet paper typical of the early 80s MREs, MCI style spoon. And there's the beef hash. And this one is packaged by Right Away Foods. LRP and other freeze-dried military rations were transitioned over to Oregon Freeze-Dried, which is the maker of Mountain House. And that's the company that produces all of the freeze-dried rations in the modern LRPs and MCWs. As for the accessory pack, it shows that it contains a cornflake bar, orange, cocoa beverage powder, matches, coffee cream, sugar, and an interdental stimulator. So there's the cocoa beverage powder. It seems to be in good condition. The packaging is not separating, and it seems to be all a nice loose powder inside there. That's a good sign. There's the cornflake bar, orange. It's a good color, it hasn't turned too dark. It smells alright. There's some matches. 2 coffee instant type 1. Cream substitute, non-dairy, and sugar. This thing you noticed was covering the food item, the main food item, like this, and that prevents pinholing. As this ration was packaged with other items, a pinhole would compromise the vacuum seal, and then you would lose the benefit of having the freeze-dried preservation because air and water would be allowed into the packaging and then it would spoil. But if the vacuum is intact, the packaging is intact, then these things can last for decades because of the lack of oxygen and moisture. So there's the contents of this package, and let's see if we can find a date code. I think we can see one right there. And I think it says 327112B1. Not really sure how to interpret that. Let's see if we can find any others. There's nothing on the main item. Or on the brown packages. There's no date codes on those. And the accessory package doesn't have a date code on there as well. So knowing the style of packaging, and is also the blue toilet paper, you can kind of infer that this is an early 80s package. So as far as this date code goes, I'm going to guess that this is either a 1983 by the first digit of that code there, or 82 by the last digit on that. So either an 82 or an 83 long range patrol ration. So first things first, let's take a look at the main item, which is the beef hash. It shows directions here: add half a canteen cup of hot water or cold water to the food, and you let it soak for about 5 minutes. Cold water would need a little bit more time, and typically these require a little bit less water than called for, otherwise it's kind of soupy. And you read the ingredients there. It's just beef, potatoes, seasoning mix, and gravy base, onion powder, white pepper, MSG, and garlic powder. So there's not a whole lot of preservatives in here, unlike the retort pouches. The only preservative is the vacuum sealing and the freeze drying, so that preserves it from spoiling just from the absence of water. So let's take a look at this. It's in a large outer bag, tear notch there. And then there's an inner bag. This has no scent to it whatsoever because it's freeze dried. It shouldn't. Let's see if we can get this bag open. There we go. You have to be careful with these because if you open them the wrong direction, you'll flip it upside down and the contents will spill out. So there you go. There's the inner bag, and there's the beef hash. You can see some pieces of potato and some pieces of beef in there. I learned my lesson on the beef stew LRP. I mixed it up too much and mashed up all the vegetables, so I'm going to be a little bit more gentle this time. Again, this calls for half a canteen cup of water, which is about 8 ounces, and I'm going to start with a little bit less than called for. I'm going to mix it very gently so I don't break up all the potatoes. Being sure to get down into the corners so we don't have any hard spots. May need a little bit more water. There's still a little bit of dry stuff in there. That should do. I'm going to close up the bag and stick it inside the outer packaging and give it a few minutes to reconstitute. The only other food item in here is the cornflake bar, class 1 orange flavor. It looks to be in pretty good shape, has a good color. Some of these will turn a lot darker with time as they get oxidized, and they have kind of a sour scent to them. This one doesn't. There you go. It has a little bit of a stale scent to it. It does have a citrus scent as well. It smells alright. As for the beverages, we have coffee. And again, that is a coffee instant type 1. We'll add the sugar and the cream substitute, non-dairy. Add some hot water. And the cocoa beverage. There you go. This calls for 6 ounces of water. And sometimes with age, this stuff can get a little bit of a sour scent, but it smells good to me. And the main item now has been reconstituting for about 10 minutes, so I gave it a little bit of extra time so I didn't have any dry spots. And there you go. It's a little bit mashed up, kind of looks like refried beans. Kind of has a beef stew smell to it. Let's get this out. So as you can see, the starch in the potatoes is kind of broken down, and it kind of is just a mass of mashed up vegetables and beef, so kind of has the appearance of refried beans or something like that. But you can kind of pick out some vegetables here and there. There's some carrots. The potatoes, like I said, have mainly broken down, maybe a little bit right there. There's some beef pieces in there, but unfortunately the potatoes, when they rehydrate, they just kind of break down, and that starch just kind of binds everything together into a mass. But it smells good. It smells kind of like beef stew. We'll go ahead and get to trying this stuff. So if we start with the main item, which is the beef hash, I'm going to try to get some pieces of the vegetables in there so I can try that all together. So there you go up close. Again, it's really just a mashed up glob of vegetables. You can kind of see some potatoes and some carrots in there, and there's a piece of beef right there. And that's not bad, really. It tastes like a thick gravy. The beef pieces have rehydrated pretty well, as have the vegetables. It'd be nice if the vegetables were a little bit bigger. They may have held together a little bit better, but you know, really hash is chopped up small pieces of beef and vegetables, so it is as it should be, I suppose. The gravy is pretty salty, so it really tastes kind of like a salty concentrated stew more than anything. But yeah, not bad. Kind of enjoy that. Next we have the orange flavored cornflake bar. And these can be a little bit iffy with age because they do contain a lot of oils that can go bad. They can turn rancid with oxidation over time. Break into that. Like I said earlier, they tend to turn a little bit dark with age if they do oxidize. This one actually has a pretty good light golden color to it, so it may be in decent condition. So there you can see the texture up close. So that's not bad. It's kind of a sweet cornflake flavor with a little bit of a light artificial orange kick to it. It's a little bit oily on the finish, but not bad. It is not sour. It certainly is not gone rancid. This is in pretty good condition for its age. Next we'll try the cocoa. There you go. And that's perfect. It's in excellent condition for its age. And this stuff's 34 years old. The freeze-dried entree I would expect to be in just fine condition as long as the packaging is good, because it'll be preserved indefinitely as long as the packaging is intact. But the fact that the cornflake bar has not spoiled or turned sour or oxidized, and the cocoa, which also contains some oils in it, hasn't oxidized at all and has a good fresh flavor, really speaks for the handling of this ration and suggests that it's been stored very well over the years. Lastly, the coffee. This is again coffee instant type 1. And that is very good. By far the best instant coffee in a ration that there is. It is a lot smoother than the other ones that can kind of be acidic and a little bit bitter. This one is actually very smooth. Not an excessively bold coffee flavor to it, just a nice smooth instant coffee. Pretty good. So that ends the review of this ration. Again, menu number 1, food packet long range patrol, and I'm guessing this is a 1983. So excellent condition for 34-year-old food. Thank you again to Drew78 from MREinfo.com for supplying me with this. Thanks as always to the ration reviewers in the community on YouTube, as well as the folks on MREinfo.com. Your support is very, very much appreciated. To the YouTube viewers and subscribers, thank you as always. And I have recently monetized this channel, and just so that you know, the sole purpose of that is to donate proceeds to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And your support on this channel can certainly help to make a difference in the lives of children that are battling cancer. So thank you very, very much for that. So please stay tuned. There's a lot more interesting content coming up, a lot more international stuff coming up very, very soon. So again, I thank you very, very much. Until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.